Okay, wow, that's a lot of people. Hey, Coco. It went from 2 to 13 very quickly.
Very
Okay.
quickly, yeah.
No, I'm like, wow, I thought I'll just be saying hello to one person. But yeah, welcome everybody. Welcome Asipe, welcome Jaden, welcome Karabo, welcome Karen, welcome Kanya, Ozayo, Sake, Slin, Silindile, Swelihle, Tsepo, and Sola. I hope you all remember me from, when was it?
It was
Yesterday.
yesterday.
Yesterday. Yes, we're not doing every second day, we're doing every day. So it's yesterday. And I hope you all remember me from yesterday. And I hope that you had a great day today at school. But yeah, yesterday we were looking at analytical geometry, and Coco had advised you of the homework, which was the circle type analytical geometry. I hope that you all tried that out and that you found the analytical geometry from yesterday to be something that you can apply to other questions as well. So today we're going to be looking at statistics. I know a lot of you said that you really, really enjoy statistics. So I'm very relaxed today because I'm sure that you're all going to give me great answers and that it's going to be quite easy. But let's have a look and see, right? Welcome, Benedicta. Are you all ready? How are you feeling? Maybe you can type in the chat. How are you feeling about statistics? How are you feeling about statistics? Benedicta, good. Sola, good. Okay, what about the rest of you? Karen, good. Swelihle, okay. Okay. All right. Jaden, excited. That's great. Yeah, that's very good. Okay. Yay. Okay. Okay. Sake, also great. Okay. Seems like all of you are doing really well. And that's yeah, very promising. Especially when we're looking at paper 2, and a lot of you said you didn't like some of the topics. So I'm glad you're doing very well and that you're excited. So we're going to look at this first question, and I'd like us to read this part first before we look at the questions, right? So if you can all just read this and yeah, try and make sense of it before we actually answer the questions. That would be great. So I'll give you a minute or two, and I'm going to minimize it even further so that you can see the scatter plot, right? Okay. This is from the 2017 paper. Okay. Have you all read it? You can just let me know and say done. Then I know that you're done reading the question and making sense of it. Are you all done? Please let me know. Yes, all done. Okay. So the first question states, just a bit conscious of not making it too minimized because I'd like you to see the screen with the diagram. The equation of least squares regression is y equals a plus bx. Determine the values of a and b. How are we going to do this? Does anybody want to unmute and let me know how are we going to do this?
You use your calculator to find the equation.
Yes, thank you for that, Benedicta. So we use a calculator. I don't know what calculators you all have. Do you maybe want to just type in the chat what the name on your calculator? I have this one, this calculator. It's the Casio one, the FX 991ZA. I know there's a new model out. It's called the ZA plus 2. But which calculator do you have? Maybe do you want to just type it in the chat and just let me know. I have this one, like I said, the Casio, right? Which calculator do you have? Sake, you've got the ES, that's fine. $82ZA. Okay, Sola, you've got yes, Benedicta. Oh, that's really nice. You got the new model. I wish I had the new model, but yeah, this one still works perfectly fine. But I'm seeing a lot of students having the new model. And we've got the Casio 82ZA. That's perfectly fine. Looks like a lot of you have the Casio. I'm not seeing any Sharp or anything like that. Eh? So this is how we're going to work it, right? So we go to we're going to start with pressing mode. So you press mode, right? Mode, and then you press stat. So I'd like to ask somebody with the 82. Dineo, maybe if you want to unmute yourself, I hope you don't mind. Dineo, are you able to unmute?
Yes, sir.
Great. So Dineo, when you press mode, what do you see on the screen? Which one is stat? Is stat number 3 on the screen?
It's 2.
2. Stat
Yes.
is 2. Huh? So when you
Yes.
press 2, what does it say, Dineo?
Gives me a lot of options until
Okay,
8.
what are the options?
Should I say them all, sir?
No, just you can just tell me number 1 and 2.
Number 1, it's 1 minus VAR, and then number 2, it's A plus BX.
Yes. So for those of you with the 82, you're going to press mode, and then you press 2 for stat. But those of you with the 991, you're going to press 3 for stat. And then you're going to select A plus BX. Okay. Then you select A plus BX. I'm going to ask Benedicta. Benedicta, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so Benedicta, when you press mode and then you press 3 and then you press 2, what does it show you on the screen?
When I press mode,
Yeah.
stat is
Then 3, yes. And then you select 2, A plus BX. What does it show you on the screen now?
X and Y.
X and Y. And we're going to use that now. So we're going to plug in X and Y, and we're going to use that to solve this equation. Is that right, everybody? Yeah. We're going to use that to
Yes.
find A and B, right? So you can take, which one is X in this? Let's look at the graph. Which one is X here? X is time for 100 sprint, which is, that's X. And the distance for best long jump is Y. So X is 100 sprint and distance is y, right? So x, we're going to plug in the in our calculator. So in the place of x's, you plug all your x's going down, you plug all your matching y's. Is that okay? You can just show me thumbs up if you're understanding what I'm saying. So you just plug in the values in there in the place of x, and then we plug in the place of y, right? Please do shout if you're struggling to get it onto your calculator, then we can assist you. And it's so important that you do this with me so that we can compare our answers, because this is a lot of things that we're plugging in, right? So just plug it in the table and then we'll take it from there. Let me know when you're done. You can just press done when you are done plugging in things. Okay. Done. Okay. Great. So we've got 10.2, 10 point this, 10 point that, 10 point that, 10.2, 12.2. Okay, yeah. Okay, we've done it, right? So I just plugged in. If you can see on the screen, I just plugged in. We've got 12 values, eh? We've got 12 values. Okay, then very, very important. We don't press on, you press AC. So you press the orange AC button here, right? You don't press on, you press AC. So you're going to press AC, right? And then your screen goes, you don't see anything. Then you press shift on the top, the shift button, and you press, I don't know if the 82 and the 991 is the same, but you press the button number 1, it says stat. Number 1, it says stat. So you press shift and number 1, it says stat, right? Then you get this on your screen. I'm just checking that 82, how it looks. Let's look. Yeah, stat is number 1 as well for you. So you press shift and then you press stat. Can you all see this now? It says rig. So you press rig, R-E-G, number 5, or whatever it is on your screen, you press rig. And then you see the A, B, R, and then you say X and Y, right? You press rig. And then use for A, you press A, number 1, you press A. What did you get for A? Anybody wants to shout out their answer? What did you get for A?
I got 14.34.
14.34, that's right. I got the same. Who else got that? Yes, yay, you all got that. Yes, I'm glad that you all know how to use the calculator perfectly. See, I have nothing to worry about when it comes to this section. You all seem to be doing very well, and you all really like stats. Okay, so we've got A's 14.34 and B's are negative 0.64. Okay. Okay. All right, everybody. Anybody that's stuck or having difficulty with this? You all seem to be okay with this. Are you sure? Do you want me to go through it again? Please let me know. It's so important that you get this right. Everybody okay with this? You know how to find A and B? Okay. Okay, let me go through it again, right? So Kanisile, let me see what Kanisile, do you maybe want to unmute yourself? If possible, Kanisile?
Hi.
Hi, Kanisile. Kanisile, did you plug in? Okay, so we're going to start from scratch, right, Kanisile? So what you're going to do is you're going to press the on button on your calculator. Which calculator do you have, Kanisile?
82Z.
Okay, press the
A.
on button. Press the on button so everything vanishes, right? Okay. So now we're going to press the values in. So what you do is you press mode and you select stat on your screen. Stat is number 2, hey? Can you see it?
Yes.
Then you select 2, which is A plus BX.
Yes.
Then you're going to press all your X values and your Y values in, right? Okay. So we're not going to type it the whole thing in now, but you plug in all your X and Y values in, right? So I hope you're writing it down. Then you press AC, right? Then you press Shift and 1. Shift and the number 1. And which one do you select, Kanisile?
Okay, I'm still writing in.
Oh, you're still writing. So you press Shift, then 1, and you select REG, R-E-G on the calculator, right? And then you'll be able to find A and B.
Okay.
Make sense? Okay.
Yes, it makes
So
sense.
currently, we won't be able to do it because we cleared everything, but yeah, okay. So that's great and helps us to find A and B. So if we can see, it's A plus BX. Now, B represents the gradient. That's why the graph is negative sloped, right? The least squares regression line of best fit, it's going down. That's why the B is negative, right? Okay. The next question says, an athlete runs 100-meter sprint in 11.7 seconds. Use y is equal to a plus bx to predict the distance of the best long jump of this athlete. So let's write our equation. Our equation was y equals to 14.34 plus the gradient was 0.64 x, right? So that was our equation. Where are we going to plug this 11.7 seconds? Where are we going to plug it? Anybody want to shout out and say, where do we plug it in?
In place of the X.
Yeah, so let's do that, right? Because what does X represent? Let's go back to the table. X represent the time for the 100-meter sprint. So X represent the time for 100-meter sprint. Okay. And X, right? We're finding X. So what is X? X is 11.7 seconds. So it's going to be y equals to 14.34 plus negative 0.64 times 11.7. And what answer do we get? Okay, I'm also calculating it. Ooh. Let's see. I'm second guessing my answer now. Yes, I got 6.852. 6.852. They didn't say how many decimal places, I know. Okay. 6.852. Thank you, everybody. Some of you gave a very, you rounded up. I would suggest maybe reading the front of the exam paper and seeing what they say. But 6.9 is a bit too rounded up. I would rather make it 6.85. And then I've got an answer of 7 here. That's a bit too rounded up, right? Try and keep it to two or three decimal places, right? Okay, the next question says here, another athlete jumps the 100-meter sprint in 12.3 seconds and the distance of his best long jump is 7.6 meters. If this is included in the data, will the gradient of the least squares regression line increase or decrease? Motivate your answer without any further calculations. So I read that really fast. So if you want to read that again, then at least you can come to another conclusion. Let's have a look. 1.3. So I'm going to plug it in here. It's going to be 12.3 seconds. And then 7.6 is here. Okay. So what will this do? To the gradient? Will it be more negative? Will it become more like less negative? What will happen to this gradient? So remember when we plug in, Jaden, when we plug in all the values, Jaden, maybe if you can unmute, will you be able to do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So Jaden, when we plug in all those values, right? So we're plugging in all these values and it's going to affect the gradient, right? Because remember we plug in x, y, x, y, x, y, x, y, it's going to affect the gradient, right? So this point is like much higher than the other points. So how will that affect the gradient? It's going to shift the line, you say upwards, eh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that means you're saying the gradient is going to increase.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I agree with that. Because this line is now going to move a little bit. If it's like this, it's going to move a little bit up like that. Eh? It might still be negative, the gradient, because it's still going through most of the points, but it's going to be less negative. So it's going to increase. Eh?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So the gradient is going to increase, and that's because the point lies much higher than the other points, right? Anybody has questions regarding this? Or is it a difficult concept to understand?
Sorry,
Yeah.
can you please explain again?
Okay, so when we plug in all the values, now remember this is the least regression line, so it goes through most of the points, right? So currently it's going through most of the points. Now, if we're going to put that one there, it might actually go here, the line. See, the line might actually, because it wants to go through most of the points, it might actually maybe instead of going that way, it's going to maybe go here like that. You see. So it might move a little, but just to accommodate that new point. So the gradient is going to increase. It's still going to be negative, but it's going to be less negative. Hence, the gradient is going to be, it's going to increase. So if you get a gradient like say minus 0.64 and another gradient is minus 0.32, it means the gradient had increased because it's not as negative as it was before. Does that make sense? Who is that asking? Karabo, maybe you want to unmute?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Karabo, when we put more values in, right, the gradient is going to be less negative because this value is quite high, and therefore it's going to increase the gradient.
Okay, so you put the 12,3 and the 7,6 values into the least regression line equation.
Yes, and you'll see it will, you're going to put it into that table, you know, the table with the X and the Y.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then you'll see it will change it based on the table, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you can just say the gradient increases because the data value is much higher than the rest, right?
All right.
Okay. Great. Any questions here, anybody? No questions. Nope. Okay. Are you fine with this question? Can just type in the chat or show me a thumbs up if you're fine, everything makes sense. Okay. Thanks, Asipe. Okay, yes, all yes, thank you. All good, thanks. Okay, great. I'm moving to the next one now. Okay, so this next question, I'm going to let you read the first part of the question. I'm going to let you read it first, and then we can look at the question. So you can read this for me, please. And I'll read it with you. Okay, so it says in an experiment, a group of 23 girls were presented with a page containing 30 colored rectangles. They were asked to name the colors of the rectangles correctly as quickly as possible. The time in seconds taken by each of the girls is given in the table below. So how many values do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 12. Okay, this is 23, right? Because there's 23 girls, right? Okay. Calculate the mean of the data. How are we going to do this? This is the basic mean. We're going to just add all the values, and what are we going to divide it by, Sola? What do we divide it by once we add all these values? Who wants to show the
23.
23? Yes. So let's do that. So it's going to be the sum of all these values divided by 23. And you can all just shout out your answer once you have it, and we can compare. Ooh. Okay. So we add all the values. I've got 472 on the top over 23. 20.52. Okay. 20.52, 20.52. I see I got a 20.57 there. That is not correct. There is a, I think a calculation error there, right? Yes, you can, Lesefo, you can use your calculator to calculate, right? Okay, great. So it's 20.52. Okay. Okay, I'm seeing all the answers here. 19.74. Yeah, you'd have to just check that again. Hey, it is 20.52. Okay. So the next question wants us to find the interquartile range. Thanks, Sola. Okay. So interquartile range is going to be, we call it IQR, and the IQR equals to Q3 minus Q1. So the third quartile minus the first quartile, right? The third quartile minus the first quartile. Are you all familiar with this equation? You can just show me a thumbs up if you're all familiar. Are you all familiar? Yes, that's cool. All right. Okay. So let's find Q3, the third quartile. What is the third quartile? Please type in the chat Q3 equals. Then I know what the third quartile is. Q3 equals. You can just let me know what Q3 equals, your third quartile. Okay, I'm getting answers here. Sola, Asipe, Nokele, different answers. Q3, Kanisile, 23.
Oh, I made a mistake. It's 24. It's in position 18.
Position 18, okay. Position 18, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yes. What formula do we use for this? We use that formula n plus 1 over 4 and then 3n plus 1 over 4. Isn't that so? Everybody? We use the formula for Q3.
Yes.
It's 3n plus 1 over 4, right? So it's 3 times 23 plus 1 over 4, which is 18. And this gives us the position, right? And it's the 18th position, right? And for Q1, we use n plus 1 over 4. So we're going to say Q1 equals to n plus 1 over 4, which is 23 plus 1 over 4, which is 24, 4. Position 4. There is it there, right? So that's Q3 and Q1. Everybody got that? For Q3 and Q1. Yeah. I'm not seeing any comments in the chat. Okay. Yeah. Any questions regarding this? This is quite an important concept. So it's it's very important that you let me know if you're not understanding, because we need to go through it. So yeah, do you get the Q3 and the Q1? What is the Q3 and the Q1? We've got 20, we've got 24 and 16. So the interquartile range will then be 8. So the IQR will be 8, right? Because it will be 24 minus 16, which is 8. Okay. Yes. Thank you, everybody. That's great. I'm going to clear some of the screen. I hope you don't mind. I'm just going to clear here. Clear here. Should neaten that up, right? The standard deviation of the times taken by the girls is 5.94. How many girls took longer than one standard deviation from the mean to name the colors? So one standard deviation took longer than one standard deviation to the mean. So what are we going to do there? Longer means we add, right? So the mean was 20.52 and it's one standard deviation. So it's 1 times the standard deviation of 5.94. And that gives us 20.52. Which then gives us 26.46. So how many were within one standard deviation of the mean? How many values are greater than 26.46? You can just shout it out or let me know in the chat how many values are greater than the one standard deviation to the mean. Yes, thank you, Benedicta. Thank you, Sola. Rehomaditswe, thank you. So which values will they be? They'll be this one, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's 4 values, right? Yes. Yes.
With the interquartile range for Q1,
Mm-hmm.
I got the answer as 6 and not 4. I don't know if I'm wrong.
Oh, yes, you are right. You are right. Thanks for that. So my answer was right, but the thing was, the position was wrong. Oh my goodness. I think I meant 6, but I wrote 4. Okay, yeah, because the answer is still right. Eh? It's still 16.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know why I wrote 4 there. Okay. So it is, thank you for that. So it's 6, but it's 16. So the interquartile range is still correct, but that Q1, I wrote that as 4
Yeah.
instead of 6. Eh? Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so interquartile range is 8. The mean is 20.52. And we've got the one standard deviation, 26.46, and it's 4. Any questions so far? Please don't feel shy to ask questions. It's important that you understand this well.
Sir,
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to ask, where did you get the 5.94?
They give it to you in the question. It says that the standard deviation
Oh,
is
oh my goodness.
5.94.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
So they give it to you in the question.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Now draw a box and whisker diagram to represent the data. Okay. Okay. The box and whisker. What do we need for box and whisker? I'm going to have to minimize this. I'm sorry, because I need space here on the side to do this box and whisker. We need the 5-number summary. Hey, who wants to tell me what the 5-number summary is? What is the 5-number summary?
It's the minimum, the maximum, Q1, Q2, Q3.
Yes. And the median, hey? Yeah. So it's the min. We need minimum, then we need Q1, Q2, Q3, and max, right? So what's the minimum value here? It's 12, right? The Q1, we said it was 16. The Q2, we still need to find. The Q3, we said was 24, if I remember correctly. And the max value is 36, right? What is the Q2, everybody? What is the Q2? I got 20. Hope that's right. Yes, thank you, Kanisile, for confirming. So we've got these values here. And now we can draw a box and whisker, right? Please, can you draw it to scale? Like, try your best to draw it to scale. I'm going to try, but I hope I succeed. Let me try. So let's do this. I've got, which is 12, right? So I'm going to do, the lowest is 12. So I'm going to say 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, right? So this is 10. And the minimum is 12, right? So where's 12? 12 is here. Okay. And then we've got the Q1, which is 16. It will be here. And then we've got the Q2, which is 20, and that will be here. And then we've got Q3, which is 24, which will be here. And then we've got the max, which is 36, which is here. Okay. And then we're going to draw our box and our whiskers. Okay, so let's do this. And then the whiskers. Like that, right? So that's box and whisker. Provide as much detail as possible. So this one here, you can say min. Whew. Q1, Q2, Q3, and max. And there we go, your box and whisker. Everybody has this? And just show me thumbs up. Everybody has this? Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Okay, great. Okay, so we've got our 5-number summary, box and whisker, and we can now move on to the next question. Okay. And then we've got a final question here. It says here, the 5-number summary of the times taken by a group of 23 boys in naming the colors is as follows: 15, 21, 23.5, 26, and 38. So what can you see? Are the boys' values higher or lower than the girls? Like, are all the values higher or lower than the girls? Hey, are the boys' values higher or lower? Higher, thank you. They're all higher. So which of the two groups, boys or girls, had a lower median time? Lower median time was the girls. The first 3 learners who named the colors of all 30 rectangles correctly in the shortest time will receive a prize. How many boys will be amongst the prize winners? Motivate your answer. So the first 3 learners who named the color of the 30 rectangles correctly in the shortest time will receive a prize. How many boys will receive the prize? This I'm going to leave for you to answer. What can you tell me? What is the answer? How many boys will get the prize based on the boys' 5-number summary? How many boys? Just type in the chat and let me know, or unmute. Rechomoditswe, Benedictus, Sola, Slindile, Sake, Ozayo. How many boys will receive this prize? Asipa, you've been quite quiet. Hope you're understanding it okay.
Sir,
Yes?
isn't it one boy? Because isn't it like the lowest? And because the girls have 12 and 16 and like the boys only have 15. Isn't it then
Okay.
one?
So Jaden, the boy's lowest value is 15, right?
Yes,
What is the girl's lowest value?
it's 12.
The next lowest value for the girls is?
Isn't it? Oh, just
30.
looking at the 5 point summary, I see 16, but it's actually 13.
Yes, so it's 12, 13, 13, 14, 14. So there's actually how many girls before the boys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, because it's 12, 13, 13, 14, 14. So the girls, the 5 of the girls were quicker than the boys. Isn't that
Okay.
right, Jaden?
Yes, sir.
Can you see that? So we look at the actual values, not the 5-number summary, right? So there were 5 girls quicker than the lowest value. So if we had to plug the boys in, they'd be here. Somewhere here, hey, 15, see? So they were,
So 0 boys then.
yes, none of the boys will receive the prize. The girls receive all 3, or actually all the top 5 of the prizes, right? Everybody
Okay.
understand that? Yes, none of the boys. Yes, thanks, Sakis. Thanks, Silindile. Yeah. So it's important that you look at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not the 5-number summary, right? Okay. Any questions regarding this? No questions. Okay, you've got a question about 2.3. Yes, Benedicta?
What if they ask you to comment on the skewness of the dot?
Yes. And what can you tell me about the skewness of 2.3? Is it positively or negatively skewed? Benedicta. This data, the data is more to the mean is more towards the median is more towards the left hand side or the right hand side. More towards the left hand side here. Benedicta, so what can you tell me about the skewness?
Is it positively skewed?
It's positively skewed. That's what you're saying here. It is positively skewed. That's correct. Yeah, it's positively skewed. More of the data is towards the right. Eh? Yes, that's right. More of the data is towards the right. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to assume that it's yes. And is there any questions? Any more questions? Nope. Okay. Okay. So yeah, if that's it, I'm going to hand over to Coco, the mentor, and you're going to be there is no statistics left in this paper, so there isn't any statistics homework left in here. However, that doesn't stop you from trying the questions in other sections and also doing more of the oh, Coco, yes, okay, I see Coco's given 2018 paper. That's excellent. Okay, so yeah, Coco, over to you. Thank you everybody for contributing. It's been really great. And yeah, and as I had started the lesson, I was confident that you'd give me great answers, and you definitely did. So well done for all the great efforts. And I shall see you tomorrow. Over to you, Coco.
Thank you so much, Teacher Depesh. And thanks, guys, for actually being quite on the ball. I think you guys are going to do great in paper 2. You guys are doing really great. So I'm just going to share my screen quickly. Just make sure I'm in the right place. Okay, there we go. Okay. So today, again, we went through statistics, which is lesson 2. And we'll see you guys again tomorrow at 6 p.m. for Euclidean geometry, which is a lot longer than the one that we just went through today. So we'll see how tomorrow looks for you guys. Okay, so today's homework will be exam revision. And then instead of going to 2017, because you guys have did all of that, we're going to be looking at the 2018 paper, questions 1 and 2. Those will go through all the questions you guys just did today about the line of best fit, finding the equation, and also mean and range. All of those as well will be in there. All right, that is it from our side. I think probably tomorrow I'm going to let you guys know about the workshop that will be happening on Friday. I'll check with the mentors and then I'll get back to you guys. But that is it from our side, guys. Thank you so much. We will see you guys all tomorrow at 6 p.m. Right. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Take care.
Bye.